Whether it is Cristiano Ronaldo pushing Real Madrid over Juventus or NRG on their way to playoff, things are definitely getting close here as we go into match day number 17 for the ESL Pro League. That's right, NRG are on the cutting edge of making it all the way in. Let's go ahead and kick this bad boy off right about now. And of course, NRG versus Optic will be the hot match of the week, and we can't even get into that without even introducing my astute panel here on the Xfinity analyst desk. To my right, I have the commentator crew known as Harry and Moses. Good morning, good evening, however you want to put it, boys.
Yeah, it's something, isn't it? It's morning, it's evening somewhere. Harry, you doing all right?
I'm doing all right.
Are you feeling happy today? No more depressing
happy every day,
answers?
Jason, on the inside. But no, I just ate a dish that's saltier than the two guys over there. So I'm feeling
it's going with some heat.
Well,
yeah,
hold on.
You know.
Speaking of these two guys, we should probably go ahead and get to know them as well. As if you haven't watched the broadcast before, we do have Pimp and Vendetta here. As far as analytics go, they should be the ones leading the charge. I don't know. He seems to think your sodium levels are a little high. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. We rated pretty much half of Harry's dinner. I think that's why he's salty.
Rightfully so. I'd be mad too.
You know, and every walrus needs his fair share of food. But yeah, no, as far as analytics go, we're going to take you through it. Don't listen to anything Harry says. That's just gibberish. So yeah, so if you want some actual facts, stick with us.
His predictions aren't too far off. Actually, they're pretty bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's schedule and see what, well, let's go with the analytics, what they have to say about this. NRG in a doubleheader tonight. First off against compLexity, and then later on versus Optic in the final matchup of the day. But in between that is a little game known as the Demolition Derby. And that is Dignitas versus Splice. Which team can implode? No, I'm kidding. They're not going to implode. But they are in some pretty rough spots. That's one thing we can say for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those games where you, it might sound a little bit harsh, but we're going to figure out who actually is the worst team in Pro League, I feel. We have a matchup between two of the lowest ranked teams, and two of the teams who've been playing the West Counter-Strike. So safe to say this is, a chance for them to show that they actually can beat each other and get something out of this Pro League.
Why don't we take a look at those standings that you talk so highly of? Of course, those two teams not there. You will see Liquid highlighted in the green. That's because they have punched a ticket to Dallas, Texas for the Pro League Finals. But NRG, very, very close to doing the same. And, of course, they're going to have 2 shots at that tonight. I guess 4 shots overall. I think they only need
5 points?
5, yeah. But with that, I mean, let's look at these rankings, boys. How are we looking?
I mean, for me, like considering how often we feel down about Optic Gaming, it's surprising to see them sitting in 3rd on a pretty good record as well, even considering, you know, the teams around them. Renegades, we obviously saw yesterday having a really good game versus NRG. Hopefully that can continue. But as the top 6 looks right now, that's kind of how I'm expecting things to, or I'm expecting these 6 teams to kind of make it through to the playoffs eventually. Not necessarily in this order, but that's kind of my favorites as we go forward. And honestly, the bottom kind of looks the same way as well. We predicted this towards, or at the start of the season, Splice, Ghost, and Dignitas, they were going to have a rough time of it, and they've lived up to that expectation. No, sadly.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that we are privy to is a little bit of statistics here of the maps played across the duration of the season. We can actually take a look at the European maps played first, and as you will see, Inferno is a crowd favorite across the European EPL. Why, Pimp? Why?
It's one of those maps where a lot of teams feel comfortable on it. It's one of those middle ground maps where when you have the veto process you have in Pro League, you often end up on Inferno, and you can see Mirage is in there as well, one of the all-time favorites for professional players. So it's one of those maps that you often define as the middle ground for pretty much everyone. There's very few teams out there who doesn't play Inferno for some reason, despite it being a horrible map. But I mean,
well now.
I think Inferno just suits every playstyle. You know, there's a little bit for everything in there.
And why don't we switch over to NA?
Oh, but just before, just take it.
Nope, it's too late. Ship sailed. One nuke map.
Yes, because I was about to bring this up. In EU, they actually show some love for nuke. You love to see it. It's being played more than cash. I hate that map. So it warmed my heart to see nuke, you know, being competitive in that sense. And then we come over to NA, and they've just completely lost track of everything. One nuke match was Rogue versus Luminosity. that was a pretty quick affair as well, so we didn't really get to savor it by any means. Here it's a bit different, but again, it's the same 3 maps that are being played pretty much across the regions. It's Train, it's Mirage, and it's Inferno. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see that Mirage is more popular here in NA than what it is in EU.
You know what I liked? I think it was 3 seasons ago in Pro League. I think Pro League determined the maps for the teams, so teams had no say in what they want to be doing. And obviously the teams and I myself back then were very mad about it. We didn't like it, but it gives something. It gives something to the league, that a team has to be well-rounded and has to be playing all the maps. I know you can't expect that from them because there's so many maps to be played, but it still gives something to the league because it is a little bit boring to see the same 3 maps being played over and over again.
Does it? Does it get a little old, Pimp?
It does.
You know what? I can sympathize with that. I can understand that completely. One thing that you might not understand or, well, know anything about would be the Mountain Dew League. That's right. Mountain Dew League has announced they will be going to Leicester for their finals there at the ESL offices. Let's go ahead and take a look at an article from HLTV. If my lovely assistant here in Vendetta will scroll for me. You can take a look May 9th through 10th at the ESL Leicester offices. 4 EU teams, 4 NA teams, and first goes straight into Season 8 of EPL, while second, third of Mountain Dew League play for 10th and 11th. But the full schedule in the coming weeks, you're going to notice some teams in there that you might recognize. Full Control, Order, yeah. That team Torqued, by the way. I believe Torqued is also looking for an organization. Just going to throw that one out there. See what sticks.
All right, fair enough.
My boy Kusta, back in action.
Both our boys. Well, yeah. Our,
you guys got some sort of love triangle.
Yeah, we've been on the Kusta train for a long time.
Why do you love Kusta?
It's Asians, It's Asian. Yeah, it's all
I can understand that, Jason. I get it, man. I see where you're going with that. Totally understandable. But either way, you want to make sure you get out to Leicester. It should be a pretty good time. I've only been there once. It was several years ago, but nonetheless, it was a
fresh in memory,
memorable time. I think it's when they did good in soccer, football, whatever you call it.
They won the entire Premier League, yeah.
Yeah,
that would be like by the way, had a Dane on the team, obviously. So
no, that's what it was.
Just one? How many players are on a team?
11 on the pitch at least.
11 on the
25
pitch
in the squad.
How about this? How about we go into the pre-match of the first game? We stop all this football talk. We're not here to talk about soccer, which is what it's really called.
Football.
Yeah. I think tonight it's fine to stay away from that topic.
Well, let's do that. NRG and compLexity will be where we kick it off tonight, and of course, NRG on the brink of qualifying for the Pro League finals there in Dallas. And being so close, being right there on the edge, how do we feel like their approach is going to be?
It's going to be a safe approach in the way that they know they're going to go up against compLexity, a team that hasn't been playing too well in Pro League, a team that just most recently lost FNS, which were the in-game leader and probably the brightest point in this lineup in terms of that. That's why I went to Cloud9. So it's a wounded team, you could say, and NRG is a team that haven't really showed any weakness. Besides yesterday, it wasn't too great of a performance, but that was the first time we ever really saw NRG playing not up to par. So that's fair enough. You can have a day off from time to time and not really perform at the highest level. I expect NRG to come in here hot and blazing and demolish compLexity. They're a much better team, and they showed us throughout the entire season that they are a team that you can count on qualifying, obviously, for the playoffs, but also do some damage when they actually get to the playoffs in Dallas.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the really cool thing as well. I think I look at it as a formality for them to just, again, finish things up. In every theoretical possible way, actually qualify and so on. And I don't see any reasons for them to change their approach. Even though, it's a massive deal for them to actually qualify for an event like this, they're not going to, go into this thinking like, oh God, compLexity can crush our dreams. That's not going to happen. They know they're good enough to beat them and handle them in a pretty convincing fashion. And I think that's what we're going to see as well. They also want to make, have some sort of redemption from what we saw yesterday. Because, you mentioned it. First time, for the better part of the season that we've actually seen them not just blow our minds in that sense. I
see what you did there, though, with compLexity Redemption. I thought that was very well done, Vendetta. Whether you meant to or not, let's go ahead and meet these lineups, because there is a new face over on the compLexity side. Of course, NRG still standing where they started in Ethan, Breeze, Fugly, Cirque, and Daps. And then we'll turn the page to compLexity, Dap, Android, Yaster, Peter, Dirty Peak, Pete, and Slimmy. Now, let's talk a little bit about Slimmy within this lineup and what exactly he can bring to the compLexity table.
I mean, he's a guy that can bring some structure and can bring the fact that he's an in-game leader. There's not too many of them in NA, in the entire world, basically. There's very few high-capable in-game leaders, and I do feel Slimmy has something to offer in that sense. He was once playing for Cloud9. I don't remember if you were with them back then.
Was indeed.
He was indeed not the greatest pickup, so he can't be part of that one. But he
wasn't the worst.
Wasn't the worst. That's true. But he didn't really do anything, out of the ordinary when he was with Cloud9. He's a very seems to be a very smart guy in a way that he knows how to approach the game tactically and analytically. But in terms of playing the game and being on the server, he's not a high fragger in that sense. And that compares to FNS with a loss, not the best fragger either. But I do feel that FNS was a little bit better than Slimmy is on the server individually. So I'm not really sold on it's an upgrade. Obviously, they didn't want to lose FNS. It's more like a decent how to say that, a backup plan, you know, a bondage on the arm, you know, for losing FNS.
Yeah, no, it does feel like it was the only option they could go. Again, Slimmy has familiarity with the squad because he used to play for them, obviously, before FNS came into it. So I think for them, it's more like, well, we're in the middle of a season. We want to make sure we stay away from relegation. Let's go back to something that everyone's familiar with, that we know we can get through the season at least.
And in that sense, he's like a perfect pickup, you know. He's there to extinguish the fire, and he can do that.
Putting the fire out.
Yeah.
Which, in some rights, you might just want to turn the fire up if you're over there. Kick the tires and light the fires, as the man Jason Lake used to say. But, of course, compLexity have found themselves in a very interesting place this season. Not necessarily at the top, but we can see who they have left in terms of the rest of the season. NRG tonight, SK, Liquid, and then they're going to round out this birthday party with a little bit of Ghost Gaming.
Oof.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's the season finale, you know. Match day number 21 going up against Ghost. That's going to be the day they have to redeem themselves, you know, and make sure they don't go into the relegation playoffs. I do believe, if you look at the standings, as we saw them before, they're quite safe by now. But if they win against Ghost 2-0, they should be safe no matter what happens against NRG, SK, and Liquid. So let's say they can steal 1 or 2 maps off those 3 teams, then that will put them in a great position. But at this point, they're not really playing for reaching playoff. They're just playing to avoid getting down in the relegation playoff.
Well, the one thing that has me worried is I don't expect them to pick up a single point versus either NRG, SK, or Liquid. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see when they get to play versus Ghost. The thing that worries me for compLexity's sake is the fact that Ghost has been on an upward trajectory. They've been playing better and better. They've actually been getting competitive. They've been picking up points later into the season. That's not necessarily the case for compLexity. Again, they just had a massive roster change, losing their in-game leader and so on. They might end up in a situation where it's a do-or-die thing for both teams in that final match week, and Ghost is just straight up a better team at that point. Because, again, they've just gotten better and better. compLexity kind of standing at, you know, same point they started out the season in, or if not even worse. And I think Ghost can potentially mess up compLexity's hope of at least staying put.
You're going to see what would have been I think that one ended 16-2, something like that. But an interesting point, and Jason, while you're standing here, I'm going to have to hit you with the pop quiz.
All right.
I guess it's one of those things where, like, compLexity coming from such a background that they have in lineage across all of Counter-Strike, what do you say about this compLexity now? What do you have to say about that sort of setup?
I mean, it's not an easy position to be in the climate of Counter-Strike at the moment. You have to remember as well, I mean, we know now they've been bought out by the Cowboys. So before that, I mean, they were one of the teams with the least money that we had in the North American scene. So now you have all these crazy buyouts, the salaries that are being demanded from players. And if you're an owner trying to ensure the longevity of your organization as a whole, you don't have a whole lot of options. You have to take some risks. You have to go for the players that aren't as popular. So. I mean, they find themselves in a very tough scenario. I mean, by the way, we talk about NRG. They're very fortunate they were able to scramble this team together. Like, that's an incredible job getting this team of young players with potential that are now realizing it. And that's basically the only way you can do it.
And I think the real question here is, Harry, where do you stand on the current political ecosystem? No, I'm kidding. Harry, do you have anything you want to add to this? I feel bad. You're over there just kind of looking at me, looking at you, looking at me.
I just, you know, I just like to listen in. That's sort of my role here, and that's why I've been so adamant that me and Jason stand here for this time period, because I love hearing it from the voices of these 2 men over there. You know, they raised some great points, Jason. You got to give it to them. I think you did then as well. You know, kind of.
I really appreciate that. Harry.
Yeah, no, well, you know, I'll just.
All right.
quickly get everyone.
Pull it back,
you know, really going to bring the love
sense.
together. I've been bringing a lot of
down.
sadness, but let's just, you know, get some smiles.
You want
going.
something?
Let
What
the
is it you
light
want?
shine through you, Harry. Check it out. We're going to Mirage. That's going to be our first map there. compLexity, NRG kicking it off. And while the players are finding a server that they find themselves comfortable on, we're going to go into a quick pro tip. That's right. Hey, future pros, let's go ahead and check it out.
Hey Future Pros, we are back on Mirage, this time bringing you the classic jungle smoke. This will block off the CT's vision from jungle and connector. To do the smoke, get onto the ledge and aim at the center of this beam. Aim to the left of this thing and just below the top of it. Then throw the smoke. If done correctly, it should leave no gaps. Combine with the stairs and spawn smoke and you will have one of the most classic executes in CSGO.
And And big ups there to Rushley, the former observer turned producer turned also able to inform some of you at home about
It's your
how to
boss.
play Mirage.
You gotta be careful what you say about him.
What?
He's your boss.
Yeah, just
He's the man in charge, my friend.
I'd say he's running the ship behind the ship. Or like
He could-
we're driving the ship right now. This is the driver's seat. But he's in my ear.
He could take, he would literally kick you off the ship if you wanted to.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I guess
am
well,
the
with that
captain
being said, I
now.
just got in my ear. I'm actually fired. So take it away, guys.
That's about time.
Back to you in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, NRG, complexity, let's bring it back into some seriousness here. Mirage, is there a chance here complexity could come out with all guns blazing? Are they going to have a chance here? Because NRG are on a hot streak, but this complexity lineup, what could they do right other than win 16 rounds, Halvor?
Oh, I'm glad you prefaced that. No, complexity again. Like they're going to have their structure to fall back on, but again, I think it's going to be a case where Slemmy's team in the past have been way too predictable in the sense that they do play structured, but that's all they do in a sense. So it was kind of the equivalent of every Blade team that we'd see in EU, right? To the point where you could pinpoint that, well, it's round 4, they're going to do this, and that. And obviously, at that point, if everybody knows what you're doing strategically speaking, then you don't really have a strategic edge anymore. And it comes down to the individual prowess of your team. And that department, I don't think it's any question that NRG just completely outgun every player on complexity by a significant margin. So unless Slemmy has had the opportunity to actually just kind of reinvent himself the way he kind of leads teams, then I think it's going to be really tough for them to actually get too much positive coming out of them.
Speaking of energy, it bothers me to no end when people don't go through and slash that TV. Because it's just a waste of power.
Oh, yeah, no, I
were
definitely
you
agree.
raised in a barn? Let's just ask the simple questions here. Pimp, what are your thoughts on this?
I have no idea. What are you talking about?
The
on
TV
Mirage.
in BFs, like you run up, everybody, like there's always one guy who's responsible enough to slice it so the TV turns off instead of just running past it.
And why are we discussing that?
Because it's pertinent to the match, obviously.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on
Playing
the players to
Mirage.
join the server.
Okay, I see. Yeah, well, I have a big problem with people who don't slice in the TV.
Yeah,
There we go.
So
Thank you for chiming
Yeah,
in.
you're welcome.
My
How does
goodness.
Jason feel
Doing my
about
job,
this?
All right, so how about this, Pimp? Let's talk a little bit about energy then. I mean, what could go possibly wrong for them?
I mean, yesterday we saw Cirque not having a great game. I mean, yesterday we saw NRG not having the greatest game of all time. We've been very surprised by them throughout the entire season, but yesterday was a little bit off. I expect that to be just a one-case scenario here, and we're going to see them back in full force. What could be the problem for them is the fact that Nathan and Breach, you know, they're going to be two very vital parts in this map. Cirque as well, we can keep mentioning him, especially on a map like Mirage. Yesterday we saw Train on the T side. He's not very good. He hasn't been good on Inferno at all for them. Decent at least, but on a map like Mirage, that's where we really see him shine. We see so many clutches throughout this season and so many great plays from him, so I expect that to happen again today. So to me, like if NRG wants a chance to throw this one away, or if complexity on the other hand wants to win this one, then it's up to NRG not to play up to their level, because if they do that, as you said, I don't see them go pair to pair with complexity. They're just much better players, much better individuals, and the team organization they have within Depth leading the team as well is just much more structured and much better and much more fundamentally strong than when Slemmy is leading a team, especially when he's new into complexity.
Well, Vendetta, I need to get, you got about roughly 28 seconds exactly to give me a prediction here on this matchup.
Yeah, so out of the 10 clutches Circus had this season, 8 of them have been on Mirage, so he's not going to have a lackluster game. NRG is just going to stomp the living hell out of complexity.
Well, fair enough then. How about that? And speaking of those apples, let's talk about these guys over here to my right who need no introduction. I wouldn't say apples, but
Yeah, where's the connection to the apples?
whatever. We got oranges over there.
He's got a good point. He's got you there, Harry.
No, he has got me there. That's a very good one, Trace. I'm happy that you were able to come at me with such a joke. You know, you love to see it. I'm excited for this one, Jason. You know, not as excited as I am for the next game. That's inevitably the hot match of the week.
Okay.
Splice versus I don't even know they're playing. Dignitas, that's the one.
Yes, they are playing Dignitas.
Yeah, but this is what we've got right now. We'll have to make do. NRG versus complexity. And this, of course, is a wounded complexity. They lost FNS. He was kind of the shining light at the end of the tunnel. They've got Slemmy back in. Personally, you know, I saw the odds just before we went in. I think it was like 1.25 to 3.7 something or other on Betway. I'd take those odds. I'd go all in NRG. Make a little bit of money in the process, maybe. Who knows?
I mean,
Don't listen to me, though. I'm always wrong. So.
Yeah, there is that. Certainly you're not predicting complexity to win these.
No.
I would assume no.
No, I'm going NRG.
Yeah, I mean, NRG obviously going to be the heavy favorites for this matchup, and yeah, we saw this out of Slemmy in his first week back, because we did see them. They made that epic tweet of bringing back a legend while they had guys like Warden and guys like Rambo within the organization, and then they bring in Slemmy, which was a bit of a fake. little bit of a juke. And they really struggled with his start. They did look pretty good with FNS, at least in early returns. He wasn't there for very long. Now they're going to push up mid. Daps feels the pressure and can't get away. So they have taken the B bomb site, and actually, this isn't bad for NRG. They've somehow made this work. There's the bomb coming out of Palace, but NRG's trying to go meet it. Cirque has to do way, way more. Now all they can do is pretty much get this plant down, and Fugly's going to be happy about that, but he's got way too much to handle. 4 players from compLexity going to zone in on this position, and they have a kit. So he's got a lot of time he's got to buy. He would need to get a kill here. He needs to get this one immediately, but he's actually not pressuring the situation, and Ye takes him down immediately.
And I'm never keen on that sort of pistol round. It feels very defeatist, you know. It's like you kind of, you send 4 players over towards B, and then I always think there's so much that can go wrong. You know, there's so many moving parts in that one strategy. You're relying on the 4 guys at B doing something. I mean, they all died, so
yeah, but they died pushing market, which makes it kind of curious. Just because if they had just stayed inside the bomb site and let the plant go down, I mean, then they would have had a much better chance. But since they tried to push market and get some of those frags, they all die so early they can't actually, because you're supposed to simulate that you've taken the B bomb site and you've planted the bomb there, and you're not able to do that, obviously. So a little bit curious of how they wanted to execute it, but the end game isn't bad because they did have compLexity completely fooled. Everyone rotated away. Def's going to get some free frags here, or he should. So already got 2. Adds another onto it. Hasn't even taken damage, so he's going to go back for more. He's looking for that ace. He's doing a Fugly. There's the 4th kill, and the 5th going to present himself, and they're actually letting him go for it. But Ye takes it away. After he misses the rest of the bullets, Ye just says, you had your chance.
Yeah, now the buy's going to be coming in for NRG. I mean, that's one thing, at least, that they can look forward to, getting this early buy on the cards. You know, they get the bomb down in the pistol round, and now they've got rifles up across the board. You know, I think compLexity, it feels like it's been a while since we've seen compLexity play. You know, I think we saw a lot of the games early on, and then we had the week, obviously, we were only doing a couple of games, and there was loads going on at once. It was just crazy. But yeah, we haven't actually seen them play with Slemmy just yet.
It's been some time. They had a lot of games early in the season when we had, like, SK, Cloud9, and Liquid all traveling. So, I mean, it's kind of the end of the season and those teams. Def, that's way too exposed, way too much of a jump, but even Slemmy takes some damage. They're pushed up in middle. He's got to fall back, and Breezy isn't expecting PTR to be that close. And actually, curiously, NRG hasn't built on that opening kill on Def, and now they're losing everyone across the map. Cirque's got to go try and shore things up where he just sees the gun fall down. Small mistake from PTR, but it might end up biting him at the end. Flashbang's coming in. Smoke as well. PTR down low, but they need the kills. They need to even things out. I'm just not getting it at the moment. This is buying a lot of time. Meanwhile, Fugly's taken over control of the bomb site, so actually NRG can pick up the bomb and just go for it, but Cirque's going to punish at least one.
Yeah, Slemmy's going to have to fade away from the top of mid. Down through short he goes, and this is going to be a very, very tricky round for compLexity. 3 versus 3, but with Fugly being here, that's the real linchpin, the thing that's going to start to do damage. Now, Slemmy's gotten into position on short, but Fugly's going to spot him out, and Fugly is feeling very, very happy about that. This aggressive play into market nets him 2 very, very critical kills, just like that. NRG, they're going to be on to their first round here.
Covering from a pretty tough spot at the top of mid. Some aggression from compLexity on pistol round, and now the 3rd round. This time it bites them. They'll be able to buy into the next one, though, especially if Ye can save this M4, which he will. No one hunting him down. So 2-1 as NRG get their first round on the board, and they're going to have an early reset opportunity onto compLexity. This is going to be all the money that the defense has to invest.
So I am curious, Jason. You know, I think maybe we don't want to paint too much of a grim picture, but because you know, I imagine you all lean in the way of NRG to win this as well. I mean, I know you're a big NRG fan.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, what would be the win conditions for compLexity in this one?
I mean, obviously, it's always going to be with compLexity. There's always going to be an element of PTR having to have a good game because he is the kind of opper who can influence very, very much with his playstyle. Aggressive, he likes to be mobile, he likes to take peeks, so just all on his own. A good game from the opper of compLexity can actually turn the tides in their favor, but they're also going to need some of the riflers to step up. You want to see Ye, you want to see Android, some of these young guys that compLexity they've had for a while that they're obviously invested into their future, so you want to start seeing the potential be realized for those 2 players. And that'll at least put you in a good spot at some kind of a chance to win down the stretch. compLexity now They've lost control of mid. They have no real presence here, so it's going to be Ye and Android, the two riflers I just mentioned, pushing down A ramp, clearing that out, getting some map control, some information from the CT side.
Ooh, that's a keen shot. Def's gonna go ahead and drop the bomb, and actually finds himself a second. He's gonna go back for more, and there you go, finally punished for it by Fugly. PTR in a very awkward spot here, players either side. The one thing is he's been able to break them up into 2 separate engagements, but finally Fugly does pull through. And oh no, Fugly's doing it all. A 3rd kill. And Ye on this flank, he has to come up big here. Okay, that was a little bit dicey, but Fugly 1v2 has to ace it for the win now. He knows that Ye's up in apartments. He also has Android to worry about over in the market. Just going to look away, tag down. The Molotov going to start to spread onto him, and Ye's able to finish him off. So the defuse will come through momentarily. compLexity going to be onto a 3rd. It wasn't the cleanest of rounds, but it's a round nonetheless.
No, but you do like to see Ye coming in with the impact, because that's kind of what compLexity gives up. When you don't have any presence in mid, really, you're just playing back on catwalk, back in towards window room. I mean, you have to rely on that flank to come in a timely fashion, and that's exactly what happens. Couple frags there right at the end, then Fugly is boxed into the bomb site, nowhere to go, and he's got to find 2 one-on-ones, but it's hard to make the decision of which side you get aggressive on. 3-1, and we're going to have a small timeout, technical timeout, as you can see.
I've just had Rushley's wonderful voice in my ears letting me know it's going to be a quick pause, quick technical pause, so nothing too dangerous going on right now, thank God. And sorry, Jason, I didn't really hear anything you just said. I was gorging myself on water.
Okay.
I've consumed way too much salt this evening. I'm just dehydrated. I'm sat here. I'm physically melting away.
You have started a pretty salty, little bit of a salty mood.
Well, okay, it's quite the accusation. You know, I thought I was being quite happy today, Jason. But, you know, whatever. Look at this. Dead man in the spawn. 2 AWPs there. Love to see it. And double AWP set are going to be brought out early on for compLexity. That's nice. They were able to save one from the previous round. Def, of course, he's going to be donning that 2nd AWP along with PTR. And NRG, they're just setting up for an A play. They've gone in with the Force, 2 AKs, a MAC-10 over on Daps. Oh, this is going to be a very, very fast play. They've already thrown out the utility. They've gone ahead and just barrage this A bomb site. Now the MAC-10 leads the way, and okay, he's going to go down, but Breezy's able to trade. So we're into a 4-on-4. Ooh, PTR.
I think there's a slight gap under that smoke. I don't know if he entirely, maybe the nade blew up behind and gave him some kind of a vision, but that's a huge pick to equalize things into a 4-on-4. Still going to be a really tough retake. A lot for Slemmy and Ye. These are the 2 M4s, and if these guys go down here in CT spawn, this is a critical battle because the ops won't be able to do everything. These M4s have to be able to get involved, and they're not, and that means Def and PTR just have to fall away. Still about half the time on the bomb left. 1 kit. Got 3 players to find in such a short period is not going to be easy. But they're actually going to go for it, so not shying away from the fight. And yeah, PTR gets about halfway up, and he's risked a lot. That's his life on the line, and Def bails him out. Really nice work. 2 ops just going to fall away. They'll be able to keep those, but it's another round for NRG, unable to retake that A bomb site.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty devastating for them, especially when you consider NRG went into that, Jason, if you recall, with a... Oh, yeah, there is a little gap.
Yeah.
And he uses his big brain to... Well, because you see, like, the gap wasn't perfect, but he just put the timings together. You know, put 2 and 2 together. He got 4. And... second round for NRG. Maybe just going to move on from that. Of course, if you recall, like I say, it was a force buy for NRG, and they're able to get away with that pretty convincingly, all things considered. They saved the 2 rifles forward as well. PTR to open up. You might have thought that was Def, but no, it was PTR who bails him out down in connector. But it doesn't matter. NRG, they're rushing into the B bomb site, and Slemmy here with a 5-7. I was going to say you have to make a stand, but he does not stick around long. Def has already rotated in along with PTR. It's the double AWPs first to arrive. And 4-on-4, this is already a very, very dicey round for compLexity. NRG just being allowed to take control of this B bomb site almost for free.
Well, I mean, part of it is that they're doing a very good game plan, knowing they're going up against the double op. You force a lot of retakes. They're staying away from that mid control, staying away from the long range, and just hitting these bomb sites. And it's just such a tough situation for the ops to handle. Narrow choke points, so many different angles they got to look out for. That's a good entry from the FAMAS. A lot of damage is dealt. Still alive, though, and the ops can't be the aggressors. So it is the UMP, but that's going to go down now. There's no more options. Molotov on the bomb as well. And I think that's going to seal the round for the favor of NRG. They can just use the bomb as a teammate. Good kill, a wide swing, but evermore, the bomb is just ticked too far away, and Def not even able to get that remaining frag. And Another explosion for NRG as they tie things up. And now, there's no money left for compLexity to invest.
I can't believe it's taken me this long to realize that the HUD is momentarily broken while Cirque is permanently alive. Maybe that was it fixed. It just flashed. I hope that's it being fixed. I don't know. But here's Fugly once again with the Mac 10. He likes the Mac 10, does Fugly. We learned that a few rounds ago. It was Daps to pick it up, you know. Big fan of going for these sorts of buys. He's throwing in the utility once again out towards the same bomb site. It's been very, very basic from NRG, but it's been working. Yeah, he's this time underneath scaffolding. He's going to be able to find himself one. That's onto the Mac 10. Android, nice Deeg shot in from CT. He's able to go ahead and convert a second, and Android still ticking these players down low from atop the ticket office. Now we have support rotating around in the form of Android. In the form of Slemmy, rather. He's peeking in towards CT. He's going to go aggressive, and Flash does arrive for him, and that flash is perfect. He's going to go ahead and find a double, just like that. PTR 1v2. And then once again, it's the AWP in the retake, Jason. It's going to be very, very tricky here for him to get back into this.
He's got a chance, though. There's still time, and he does have a kid. If he can swing onto this player in CT spawn, if he can find this, but he's spotted out too early. Now he's turning around waiting for the response, but Breezy just finishes him off. Really well done from NRG. A tough situation. They lost some players to the CZs, to the Deagles. In a 2 versus 3, you have to be the aggressor, and they're rewarded. A perfect timing on that flashbang. Fortunate with it, obviously, but you do love to see, instead of just sitting back under the bomb sites and waiting, they go and find it out. It's been a pretty hard battle for NRG to get to these 4 rounds early on, but with this reset, this is where it gets scary. Can compLexity actually rebound? We know they're going to want the AWP in PTR's hands. We know they like that double AWP early on. Well, they have the fortitude to save, to give up a round, to be able to afford that kind of a setup moving forward. And then again, they're going to have to just get to the winning ways. But NRG shows they have a response. They have the ability to defeat that double AWP setup, which has got to be worrying for the defense. And how deep does Daps go towards this A bomb site? He's already at the top connector, so he can lurk here. He can gather information. That's a great shot from Def with Deagle. And Ethan, watching the flank, sees the second player, and he wants to hunt that down. Mac 10 not the best at that range, and actually he's losing the battle so far, but he's still willing to take it. They know exactly where he is. Nade is out, could do some damage. Chips away just a little bit. NRG in firm control of this, though. 4 on 2. And it's going to be their 5th round.
Yeah, good stuff from NRG right now. And one of the issues here, I have to agree, that is going to kind of start to worry this compLexity roster is that double AWP and how expensive it's going to start to become. That's a nice kill from Slemmy, trying to do damage, trying to keep NRG modest. Maybe going to be another here onto the one shot, but no, Daps does come through. NRG going to get themselves another. compLexity, well, they going to be buying down here. They've got the 1 AWP up on PTR.
Yeah, just enough to bring it out, but obviously didn't want to invest in the second one quite yet. Would have been missing a lot of nades for that. And what is the response? What does compLexity adjust, if anything? Remember, early on in the half, they started out with aggression in mid. Looks like they want to go back to it. Android going to lead the way. Oh, he turns right into a flashbang, though, and Circus spotted that out. He's got the AWP. There's an AK on the ramp, so he's pretty well defended. A nice flick over. There goes Daps, and Circus still going to go for the battle. Android coming around the corner, baits out the shot. And Cirque can't recover in time. 1 more player in mid for NRG. That's going to be Fugly. Breezy, though. He's opening up A. Now the bomb can be recovered and wrapped around, but PTR waiting for that. The flashbang is brutal. He couldn't cover his teammate, and Peter goes down as well. Breeze has opened it all up, but Def brings it into a 1-on-1. And booking it for the B bomb site this whole time is Fugly. But it seems like Def has a very good read on that. The bomb will get planted. Plenty of time to get in a new position for Fugly, but will he expect the flank?
1 versus 1, and yeah, I mean, this flank from Def, he's going to be in a pretty good position to nullify if he stays around over in the market, but no, he's going to start to double back into the sites. Now Def will be given an opportunity. He's been the man at the top of the board for compLexity, and now be the time really for him to pull it all together. It all culminates into this 1 round. He has spotted out Fugly. There's limited time left, and Fugly's just toying with him, biding time, using that bomb as a teammate. It's an idea we talk about a lot, but Def is going to win it out, sadly. There is no time left for the defuse. So NRG, they're going to find themselves a 6th round.
Yeah, that's really well played in the 1 versus 1 using, I mean, you never know if he has a kit, obviously, couldn't tell there, but just making sure it's as much as possible. Those are the 2 missed shots from PTR. Well, the first one he was flashed in and he just didn't even see the opponent, so fair play, but that second one needed to hit that as his teammate went down. That's what really opened up the other side of the map. NRG starting to run away with it. Another round, another buy for compLexity, and this time they don't have the op. 2 FAMAS, 3 M4. An aggression towards underpass. And actually, NRG isn't watching for this, although those are some footsteps that should give it away. And indeed, Cirque has turned around. He's looking behind him, misses the shot. Doesn't have to go for the repeat, and that's risky. He spotted the second one, though, so he can tell them. There's 2 in these halls. They could push you from behind. You need to be careful. And now compLexity, these 2 players are trapped. But Cirque, again, still can't get the good timing on his peak. Trying to bait out the shot, and he doesn't need to. An awkward situation for Cirque, and he doesn't handle it well at all. And somehow that extended fight, the extension from compLexity, works in their favor.
Now we're just Ethan and Dabs left. NRG, their time is fleeting. They're going to go ahead and head in through lower tunnels here. Up towards A they go with PTR and Android. Inside this site, they have a crossfire set up, and actually Android looking like he's going to go pushing up into Palace. This means NRG have to lead themselves enough time. You know, unsure whether or not they'll see that Palace player coming when it does come time to get this bomb down, so they can't really afford to leave it down to the last few seconds down to the wire. PTR as well in a great spot, but no, he's going to start to walk away, and the timing here couldn't be worse. PTR, he's gone ahead and left it open. Now doubles back, and Ethan's going to find him as a result. 23 seconds. They throw down the smoke. Molotov off Palace. They do suspect the man to be in there. That's going to be perfect for them. They're allowed to get this bomb down. Android still on the late lurk. Can do damage. I'm just going to go ahead and bunker down into the site. Ethan's got aggressive into connector. Slowly but surely they're going to check the angle. They've spotted the gun. Def goes walking in. Def going to find Ethan, and now it's Daps. He falls at the first hurdle, and that's just like that. compLexity, they're going to find themselves a 4th round. This is their 2nd rifle round of the game. And it's a pretty critical one at that, because it's kept NRG's economy very, very modest. And maybe they could scrape something together into this round. You have Daps who can drop a gun over. Ethan can buy one of his own.
I can't believe that compLexity actually came out on top of these fights. First Breezy goes down, then Cirque, and Fugly just can't do enough. Hard situation, but compLexity, those 2 players were trapped. There was nowhere else to go except to fight your way out, and they actually are successful with it. So, yeah, nets them their 4th, and actually a much better buy than I expected to come out of the NRG side. They've got 3 AKs, 3 players with full utility, and yeah, they are with 1 on a pistol and Galil, but considering what they brought into it, that's not bad at all. So, chance to be dangerous here. PTR back on the op. Time it's much slower, much more calculated. Some semblance of mid-control just now being established by NRG. They've got Daps with the CZ at the base of connector, peering up top, shoulder peeking. I imagine this will be a split towards that A bomb site. NRG's just got to be careful because the bomb is actually left back near T spawn, and there's Android spotting one out, but he's lost that duel, and Daps is going to go finish him off. The running CZ around the corner. That's 1 player down, and Ye picked off from Palace. Good response by NRG, but they still don't have the bomb, and they haven't realized it yet, but Def has. Def just walks by it, and he's going to love this gift. It's Fugly on his way back, knife out, not expecting this whatsoever. He's going to get picked off, so if you're NRG, all of a sudden, this is a disaster. It's panic mode. And you need to find some way to work together. Cirque and Ethan are the next 2 up to go get the bomb. And actually, they're sending the whole team. 35 seconds left. They still have time to recover this. Def's going to add 1 more, so he's thinning the herd. He's doing everything, but can't complete Breezy. The Galil does take him down.
Still has a lot of room for this round to go wrong. Slemmy now lies in wait, but he is going to fall at the hands of Breezy. And just like that, they've been gifted away back into this. Peter going to start to rotate off from CT. Towards the B-bomb site he goes. Maybe if he gets 1 on the cross, maybe then we see him go for this. Instead, he's going to fall. Breezy drops him from afar. And yeah, with so little time left, there was definitely a chance for Peter in that round. Had he, landed a couple of shots, but of course the miss means that is a no-go. NRG getting up 7-4. And that just shows how quickly a round can go from good to bad. NRG, they get control of the site, they have the man advantage, and it's, you always have to keep an eye on that bomb.
We see that mistake far too frequently. I don't think it's that often. It's not like an every map occurrence, but we have seen it a number of times throughout the season.
One in 6, maybe 1 in 5.
Yeah, we probably see it once or twice per day. I guess wouldn't be a bad estimate. Well, I think maybe that's driven up. We did see it like 4 times in one map from Luminosity, I think it was.
Oh yeah, no, I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah, that was a rough game to watch, but yeah, at this level, that's just inexcusable. Well, no armor on the compLexity side, so Daps with this MAC-10 should be able to get a lot of information and maybe a couple kills. Stack towards that B bomb site, and compLexity, without seeing or hearing anything over in those B holes, going to start getting aggressive towards Catwalk. One flashbang on Slemmy. Keep an eye on the HUD there. As soon as that flashbang disappears, you'll know the attack is on, and that's just now. So here comes the bull rush. Fugly's in position, though. He's traded. There's the MAC-10 that goes down. 2 kills from Ye, and the op from Cirque is able to ring true, and actually a TK coming in is an unfortunate circumstance, but can't fault him too much. That's a great shot, though. 1 on 2, and now he's given himself a chance.
Yeah, he's got the AK to work with. He can definitely try and make up for his mistake. Wants to try and prove his worth after that TK. Slemmy gonna get tagged down. Mana plays from behind triple with the lack of armor. The aim punch playing into it, and Cirque, he's not going to waste any time. Just shoots him through the box. So NRG are on to an 8th. That right there reminds me of... you ever see those videos that people make where they mod a game and it's like... I don't know, you have like one like really powerful thing versus like loads of the weak ones. You ever seen those sort of...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what that reminds, just like all the ecoing players rushing down short, 5 of them versus a few bot players. Who wins? It's an it's kind of like a Gary's mod sort of video.
Never played or seen Gary's mod.
Haven't you? Oh well, it's not that great. So okay. you're not missing out on much, Jason. It's like it is a game that is just designed to waste time. But he's not wasting any time. NRG, as they go ahead and try to take control of mid. Sadly, Peter's actually gone ahead and done a fantastic job of... Ooh, never mind. Breezy's tipped this back in the favor of NRG. He's been so good in this game. And it's always nice to see him firing on all cylinders. Def going to try and step up to the mark, but instead actually misses that shot. Now Peter has to come rotating into connector. Ugly spots Def falling back from short, and Slemmy has to try and step up, but he's instead going to step down. First hurdle, he falls over. Peter 1v4, save is all he can do here.
I think it just seems kind of awkward for compLexity. It seems like no one's I don't know. No, like PTR gets the first kill with the op, which is a good start, and then everyone just kind of dies after that. No one's kind of prepared for the pressure that NRG is putting on, and Peter hasn't had the greatest game. Only 4 kills for him. He's had the up plenty of times and hasn't had the normal impact that we see out of him, but still, the rest of the defense, some big numbers on guys like Def and Ye. I believe they're the 2 top fraggers. 16 for Def, which is nice. 12 for Ye, but outside of that, there's just not enough production across the board for compLexity. And NRG in firm control of this match. Back to pistols we go for the defense. Last time we saw the catwalk stack. This time on Slemmy, there's a smoke and a flash. So you'd imagine it's going to be a similar setup. Maybe a smoke for A ramp, which I think is just deployed now. And he's back towards CT spawn, flashing through the smoke onto A ramp, perhaps. See when the timing of this comes in. And here come the nades over. Surely Slemmy's going to throw the flash now, but it's a little bit too late. They come through the smoke, and actually Ye misses his opportunity. Lets Fugly go by. He was actually concentrating on going through the smoke, and he's done his job. He's gotten a couple kills, 2 for him, and salvaged the op. Shoulder peek tells Fugly all there is to know. He's going to be pushed back. Def has gotten here. He's arrived in CT spawn with the CZ. Gotten some good damage on Fugly and completes it with the headshot. Now Ethan, stuck between the 2 players, doesn't realize that Ye is relocated, but he can still do this. He decides to take the fight against the CZ, finds that kill, and where does he want to go? Does he want to book it over towards the B bomb site or just go for the plant here? Got a decision to make, and he's going to risk it all at a plant at this A bomb site, and he's going to be rewarded. Ye is taking the long rotate, and at some point, there is a clock inside of Ethan that's going to send off the warning bells. That choke point of connector is going to be a possible point of danger.
Yeah, he's gone ahead and stuck himself under scaffolding here. He's keeping an eye down Rage. It will be a 1v2 if he gets this done. Yeah, he's going to check it, but no, Ethan. Great moves. He keeps it up, and we're proud of him. It's going to be NRG onto their 10th round. They're feeling good about that one. Because, I mean, that's a round that they should not be losing, and they know it. So, Ethan is going to be pretty happy with himself to win out that 1v2. Now, compLexity buying down. Double AWP bought back out. Def and PTR picking those up. Sprinkling utility across the rest of the guys. Once again, aggression over in mid. Now, this hasn't really been working out for compLexity all that much. And this time they go ahead and try and give it up, but already so much damage has been done. Def has been tagged low inside the B-bomb site. Daps is all the way down short. How have they gone so quickly here? Slemmy's able to go ahead and get the first, but that's it for him. Now, Def falls shortly after inside the site. Man advantage up in favor of NRG, and they're just getting dismantled. compLexity, they can't even see the B-bomb site. Anytime they get near, they get their heads taken off. And Android, 1v3, last round of the half, he's going to try and go for it. He is, you know, in my opinion, one of the most promising players in this compLexity roster. So, you know, he can definitely make something happen here. He's going to go creeping round, but Breezy will quickly grant him death. 11-4 at the end of the first half, Jason. And NRG, they're going to be feeling good here as we head into that second half.
They're going to feel really good. That pace they came out with towards the end of the half, I mean, a couple of those, I think the big thing that yielded them such a good T-side is that they were able to neutralize and counter the double op setup early on so effectively with some of those executes. Force the double ops into a retake that you just know they're not suited for. Really nice half put together from NRG, and I think you mentioned a couple times throughout that. Even compLexity wins the pistol in the second round, but then only wins about 2 gun rounds overall throughout that half, so a bit of a nightmare scenario for compLexity. And look at this, Breezy versus Def. Actually, the same scoreline, same kill death, but the ADR on Def is actually very impressive.
Yeah, and you know, as we all know, the only important stat, the headshot percentage, the one that I swear by, Def's winning in that department as well, so he's looking good. Was that a team knife at the beginning? Yes, it was. NRG just going to take a bit of a handicap. Yeah,
why not? Love tap to open things up. Ethan's going to be the only one today. He's got to get some kills here. Actually, smokes are coming out delayed, and only one player. Ethan's only spotted the one, but he knows because of the smokes, likely it's going to be an A hit. And actually, compLexity, not even really risking anything. Running routes that kind of ignore Ethan entirely. Going to go towards CT spawn. There's going to be a boost up over the fence, and Android knows it. But because of that, they don't want to take over CT stairs. They want to go through the smoke. They want to take over jungle, and now this gets difficult for NRG. Breezy has to get at least 2 kills in this scenario. Occupy them at least so everyone can flank behind. Good frag from Cirque. Headshot. They have to worry about A-ramp, and now Ethan's chiming in, and they're all boxed in now. Map control goes to compLexity, but they lose it. They haven't found any frags, and they're not even going to get one at the end. Def going back. He's got so many players, and he's just got to back away as the bomb was already defused. That was such a clean retake. I did not expect it to go that smooth.
Yeah, you know, normally those 5-on-5 retakes, Jason, I know they really grind your gears, they really tilt you. But this time, you know, you remain untilted, which is always good.
Yes.
You'll be glad to know, Jason.
I do enjoy
you know,
not being
whenever
tilted.
you do get tilted, the angle you're always at is acute.
Oh, Harry.
I don't know. I thought maybe it would have been.
Don't use that as a pickup line.
Yeah, no. I mean, especially because I have a girlfriend,
for it,
that would just be like a double no.
Yeah.
But here we go. There's gonna be 2 kills going away with Slemmy. He's got to burn out Cirque and Ethan. So good start from compLexity in this one. Bomb's gonna go down. Breeze is peeking over the top of the stairs, but he hasn't been able to see anyone just yet. And that's largely because there's 3 players right now down in CT. That's a bit unexpected if you are NRG. They have to try and flush this out. And Daps, not normally the man that we commend for his fragging power. He's going to get tested here versus these 4 sport players. He's going to fall here, and he's able to get himself 1. Luckily enough, they've dealt with Slemmy. He was the one man that was inside the sites. Now they have both of these players trapped in CT. They're going to take the fights, and they win them out. Just no, wait, there's no kit. Oh.
I think he's still got it.
Yeah,
I think he's
still
fine.
time.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Yeah, very nice retake. A good round from compLexity, though. 3 kills in the plant. They'll take that every day of the week. Def and Ye can actually have pretty strong buys with AK, so they might want to, just because of... Ooh, there's a rare Tech 9 sighting. And a Molotov kill for Slemmy, but just because of the damage done and how wide of a score it is, you might as well go for the buy here if you're compLexity. 2 AKs, you can get some pistols around it as well. Yeah, I mean, you have to start getting on the board, and you have to take some momentum away from NRG. We'll see if they're able to do it. Actually, you can almost feel like there's an advantage for compLexity in some ways, as there are 3 SMGs on the board for NRG. Heavy towards the A bomb site. 3 players heading towards ramp, and look at Fugly. He's already gained so much ground, so much information. He's looking to cut some players off. He's going to wrap around through underpass. That would actually be huge if he's able to do that, because jumping up at the B bomb site at the van, they see absolutely nothing, so there's no reason for Fugly to clear all the way over and towards B. He's going to do it anyways, and actually that could punish them at the end of the day. Still no rotations over towards the A bomb site, which is so scary, as we can see on the minimap. If compLexity takes too much longer, they don't realize it. I think they're about to just be checkmated. One coming from underpass. When do they turn away? The timing is perfect for Fugly. He's going to get one just as Def gets the feeling of what's coming. And Slemmy now is occupied. Now they've got to hit forward. That's a great recovery. Cirque misses the shot, but Ethan's there for the trade. Damage being doled out. And now Fugly in towards Connector, going to get aggressive. Smoke's in his face, but he's going to peer up over the top. They're fighting elsewhere, but he doesn't commit to the action. Now he finds one around the edge of the smoke. Damage to Ye. Nade might just do it. Brings him down to 19. This is going to be a really tough post plant for compLexity, but they need it if they want to try and come back. The bomb's not even down yet.
Yeah, he's going to get taken that much lower, and he's the one with the rifle. Android now has a lot of work to do, and he's got no idea that Fugly's snuck up close. And that's the round. NRG in with the 14th. They want to try and make this first match a quick one, 14-4. And they're not messing around anymore, Jason. This is... these are games they need to win if they want to make it through to the finals.
Ye actually shot an M4 over to his teammate inside the bomb site. It just kind of got recovered far too late to really have any impact. Speaking of far too late, this is a timeout that feels like it's too little too late. 14-4. It's their first timeout used, so didn't use any in that first half to kind of try and recover the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see how many of these rounds were consecutive from NRG, because, you know, compLexity, I think it was... I don't want to say it, but I mean, I know that there's been a lot of rounds in a row. That's the important part here. You know, 10 out of 10... great analysis from me, but for compLexity, I mean, yeah, it feels pretty dire now. You know, over on the T side, at least they're able to invest up a bit into this round, courtesy of the bomb plants as well. Obviously, that's always going to help out. They've got themselves 2 rifles, 2 Galils, and CZ up on Def. He's the man packing all the utility. But you know, nothing's really been working. That's sort of the issue. They don't have much to go off, especially not on this T side, given that, you know, they're only a few rounds in and they haven't really had too much success at all. They've been able to find the bomb plants over towards A couple of times, so maybe we'll see them look to roll back to that. But look, Zerg's gone over into mid. He's peeking into lower tunnel. He's cleared that out. Now he's going to go back to his position and connect there. Android is very, very weary of any aggression from NRG. And you can see, I mean, compLexity, they look pretty scared as to... tickled apps a bit. Yeah, they seem very, very hesitant to go for anything, Jason. They're very, very worried that NRG are just going to try and bring the fight to them.
I think part of it is because they don't have a lot of nades, so that they have to kind of... They're going to look that way naturally because they're trying to stall for time, right? They're trying to let that initial round of utility from NRG kind of go to waste so that they have a clear avenue into the site with their own very limited utility. But at some point, they're going to have to step this up. Fugly misses the initial chance to frag Slemmy. Daps hiding in the corner and Breezy on Catwalk. The only 2 players left, but 2 kills towards the A bomb, so they have to know the B side is still strong. There's 3 quick kills coming out on this side of the map, and Breezy's still alive, not able to complete it. Is Daps, and it's quickly to a 2-on-1. PTR, 7 HP left, and the nade's going to do it. He catches it. And that's going to be the 15th.
So upsetting. You see the bomb go down, you see PTR's tag low, you think maybe there's a possibility. Then, you know, if you're a viewer at home, you look down to the left, you see that Breezy still has his nade left, he's over on short, and you know that it's lights out from that point on in. It's going to be 15-4, NRG. They are looking for a quick win into map number 1. I'm not entirely sure what the point threshold is for them to have said that they've qualified for the finals. I just know that they didn't. You know, they were very, very close. So they're gonna love it if they can get this first map.
I would be amazed if NRG doesn't qualify. And actually, I think they might just secure. Yeah, I think this might be the series in which they secure it. We'll have to see by the end of the day, though, because they have 2 more matches to end as well. It's the seed that's going to matter most for NRG. That's a good opening frag. Fugly has the second op. Going to show compLexity how it's done. Breezy gets caught trying to be aggressive around the smoke, but another one from Fugly comes out. 2 kills with the sniper. And Android can't cross because Cirque is there, and now Slemmy left in connector, awaiting death. And surely Fugly looks like he'll be the one to deliver it, although Slemmy's going to try and play the patience game, find a timing as the rotations come to the other portions of the map. He's going to slip right into the crease in jungle. Got Fugly and CT Spawn playing passive. You've got Daps pushing A ramp, and you've got Cirque watching B, so he doesn't realize it yet, but this is a free plant, at least for the moment.
You kind of look at it, even if he gets his bomb down, the chance of surviving is so incredibly slim, especially as Daps has started to rotate back. The timing could not be worse for Slemmy. Oh, he's faked it as well, and that's cost him even more time. Just looks away from Daps. He's now worked himself into the corner. He has to take the fight versus one of these players, and so many angles to keep an eye on. There is just, a 3-pronged attack coming in from NRG. That's it. They get the kill. Just like that, they get the defuse. They've won out of this first map, 16-4. It's a very, very quick one, Jason. NRG, they're looking dominant. Let's not forget, this was a team that, for the most part of this season, was undefeated. It wasn't until I think we saw them play versus Liquid that they had some problems throwing their way. The other team that was undefeated at that period in time.
Yeah, they've had a great season, and this is kind of an expected outcome. Although I did feel a little bit more of a beatdown than you thought maybe it would actually be. Either way, NRG takes the first map. compLexity gonna have to go back to the drawing board between games, figure something out. We're gonna return after the break with the desk.